All right, good morning, everyone, and it's morning where I'm at, so it's just past midnight. So happy Halloween, and I wanted to do a video on. I've been watching a lot of like haunting and ghost videos recently. It's kind of fun, this time of year. So, but I wanted to just kind of pick one and analyze it, and I thought that there's always some great truths, to be got from this sort of thing. So I think just to kind of preface and summarize real quickly. So um, when it comes to things that are captured on film, film, of course, in video is a physical medium, and just like our eyes, for example. And there is just simply non-physical things cannot be seen with the physical eyes. Just like we hear our own thoughts. Audible things cannot be picked up on physical instruments, things that are non-physical. Everything in the afterlife is of non-physical energy. So it's not to say that, like if you see something, it's not real, or if you hear something, it's not real. But it's the same mechanisms that you use to hear your own thoughts. Or you can imagine something in front of you as well, but it's always going to be non-physical. Your physical eyes aren't seeing that. So when it comes to that separation of realms, it's when in these sorts of videos, it's either going to be the two options are it's going to be something real spiritual that was captured on film, or it's not. And just because of that fundamental fact there. Of that separation between, it doesn't say that, because we can hear thoughts and it affects our physical body and that sort of thing. So it's very real to have these sorts of experiences, but it's good to separate the fact of what can be captured on film or video. So and quite simply, if it's not possible, then it's either going to be something that was recorded, physically, visually, or audibly that is misunderstood or misinterpreted, or something that looks like, it appears to be maybe something spiritual happening on camera, but it's not. The other alternative is, so if it's not naturally occurring and something we're trying to interpret, then it is something that was not naturally occurring, meaning it was doctored or fixed or placed somehow, in other words. So that's kind of the premise for these sorts of videos. And there's some good examples in here of all that sort of thing. So with that being said, let's hop on over to the video and go through them. It's pretty fun to watch. Okay, so here's the videos right here, and we'll get started. There's 16 of them. It's a pretty short video. It's only about 5 minutes and 21 seconds, well, to be exact. But okay, so out of all these videos, 2 of them are actually naturally occurring. They're physical in every sense of the word. And it could be one of those things that we're trying to figure out what's going on, like I was mentioning a moment ago. So I think there's 2 great examples of that. And then I'll point out which videos they are. And it's really great that I've never thought about this before until this year, which is kind of cool. But, spiritual guides, anybody that resides in the afterlife can have the ability to see everything that occurs here. And they're able to explain that real quick too. I did another video on this, but everything that's physical has a non-physical counterpart. We all have this immediate duality. It's just the nature of physicality. So there's an identical non-physical everything existing in the same space, which is exactly how those in the afterlife, which are purely non-physical, can communicate with us. So they can't, just like our physical senses can't see non-physical energy, vice versa. They wouldn't be able to see us or communicate with us or do anything if it weren't for this physical slash non-physical duality that is just inherent in 100% of everything physical. So what they're seeing is non-physical, but it's a direct copy of what we're seeing physically. So they're able to see everything to the finest level of detail and explain this sort of thing, which is great. So we'll get to it. We'll start with this first video here. Ghost pushes baby over. I'm glad this one isn't real, first of all, because that poor kid went flying across the room. So this is doctored. So 14 out of 16, again, of these videos are doctored using some sort of tricks or photo editing software. This one included. So you can kind of see the baby, it was made to look like it fell over, and the mom's reaction is not even that surprised. So, but what this was is I was asking my guides about this. It was doctored. I even asked, can you tell, was this baby even shoved at all? Or, like what happened here? And they said, yes, like not at all. It was just the baby naturally fell, but everything that occurred between that point and this was like edited, to make it look like that baby, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, fell over harder than they really did. So, and if you watch right here, the mom's reaction, she doesn't even do anything. Watch, see, she's kind of glances over and now she's staring at her kid like, so it's kind of off. There's a few different things like that kind of clue you into how it might be fake, but it's, offhand, it looks like a well done doctored video, altered a little bit, but thankfully, again, that wasn't real. Those things just don't happen, period. So, it's impossible actually, really. So, next, number 15, Ghost Kitty vanishes on camera. This one's pretty self-explanatory. This cat just kind of walks into nothing and edited. So this one too, it looks cool. It looks like a spirit or something's kind of walking through traffic. Completely added in there. So this one's doctored as well. This one too. So that was completely edited and as well. It looks really cool. And I actually saw a commercial the other day, which is pretty crazy. Like phones now come with visually editing software. This was like a week or two ago, and it showed like this guy or lady taking a picture of their family at the beach, and there was people in the background. And they said you can now, edit out unwanted people in the background. And they just like touched a couple things, and the people in the back of the photo are gone. And all you saw was the beach and the water. So it's really easy. You can do it at with the push of a thumb nowadays. Some of these videos, I don't know how old they are, but technology is definitely capable of doing this kind of thing. So this one's really creepy. I mean, even though it's not real, if you listen. By the way, that orb right there, and I did another video I'm going to get ready to post on spiritual photography and orbs, that sort of thing. I don't know if that's physical. I forgot to ask about that, or if it's like a physical phenomena, or if that was kind of edited in order to add to the video. But if you hear the voice whisper and it says the doorknob moves, you can hear it. Right there. And then you can hear it clicking a little bit. I just noticed something actually. If you watch, I didn't notice before. If you watch the oh, never mind. I was going to say it looks kind of weird because the leaves were stopped and then they started blowing again. Might have been because they slowed down the video in order to, show that, if you listen real closely right here, that sort of thing. Or maybe it happened, they're trying to say it happened really fast and you had to slow it down. Either way, that voice, all doctored, all edited in. Scary though, kind of creepy. So this is one of the two I was talking about. So this is really interesting. If you watch this right here, so number 11, CCTV captures cabinet spontaneously smashing. So this is apparently one of the ones that is purely physical, and could be an explanation. Well, there's nothing on here that shows anything was doctored or edited or anything like that using any software. So, and I actually researched this online. It is a real thing. Like I read these crazy stories about people's glass tables, like they're just sitting there doing nothing and it just explodes, or their back door explodes. And it has to do with the way the glass is made. It's tempered, and if even like the tiniest crack that you can't see with your eyes forms and starts to weaken the glass. Eventually that sort of thing can kind of like spider or build out, and it doesn't take much, really anything. It could just naturally do that, or the heat could cause that, or if you barely bump into it, something can cause that sort of thing, just like this, to occur, and with no actual explanation. So this is a perfect example of, man, this is kind of weird, like what caused that. But there's always a reason, and in this case, it's again, no activity, no spiritual activity, nothing supernatural in this one, just purely physical, and probably something that has to do, with something along those lines. So. All right, man disappears into thin air.
See, if you were a liar, you might say you were
then it just disappears.
Maybe you just disappears.
There's another video. I don't know what they're really saying in the background, but that one was not real as well. This one, teleporting cat. This is kind of funny. You see him walk out of frame. I didn't know what to expect when I was watching. You can kind of see everything. Like, see where my arrow is? Things are kind of changing, shifting there. You can notice probably. And here's the cat reappearing. That's him teleporting. He walks out this way, and then he shows up this way. But you can kind of see the texture of things on the video shifting a little bit. Not quite sure if that's the video or not, but edited. So is this. That one looks kind of cool, actually. But again, this was something that was added in there after the fact. Added into the actual video itself. This one, too. They'll zoom in here too so you can get a closer look. I don't know if you saw that, but something kind of moved in the background there, right there, see? So, again, this is something that was added in later against the actual video itself. This one too, they'll slow it down too so you can see what she's talking about. But right there in the frame is what they're talking about, so. Two things, there's a face that forms right, you can kind of see that right there, and then you can see a hand kind of rubbing on her face right there. So both of those things were added in. So this is all just people having fun with this sort of thing, technology.
Oh man,
This one
it's very cool.
it's kind of entertaining. I don't know what it's trying to do. Like, okay, so this is the other one. This is kind of cool. So this is actually totally physical. So this is one of those things that's like, what's going on, and don't really have a reason for it. And me and my guides were actually talking about this, trying to figure out, but this is totally physical. And just based on, what we see in the camera, there's really no way to tell what's causing this. We were kind of speculating. Could have been like something wrong with the circuit breaker or electricity. Or it could be, we talked about this too. I was saying, hey, guys, you know what? Maybe this is like a fire alarm. But, for deaf people who can't hear, these are the lights. And then, the lights kind of show them which way to go. Because if you notice, doing like a certain thing, right? So if you can't hear the fire alarm, you go outside and you have this visual reference point. And it's kind of like pulling you down the hallway. But I don't know if that's true or not, to be honest, because it seems kind of disorienting too. Like maybe if you have a medical condition, that sort of thing. This sort of thing could make you dizzy trying to run down the hallway if you think about it. Because look at it, it's very, it's crazy. But it's all physical. Not quite sure if it's an error or if it's supposed, electrical problem, or if this is some sort of smoke alarm or something like that. But for some reason, it could just be a test too. Maybe they were doing a test, and when people were asleep and this guy was awake, but could have been just the lights they were testing. I'm not quite sure, but that one was actually legit. So there's nothing supernatural about this, which leaves the last 3 videos. And again, not to ruin it again, but these are all none of these are supernatural or anything like that. So. One, this is a little kid running through. That was quick. But then there's number 1, the spooky chair, I guess. But this one's totally. Oh, that one's moving too. But edited and set up basically. So. All right, well, that's it. So that was that particular list of videos. That was kind of fun to watch. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, so that was the video list, and it's fun to watch that sort of thing, and kind of to get into that mindset of, was that real, or things that are kind of scary, especially during Halloween, or like fascinating. Or whatever it is, that kind of triggers that emotional response within you. So these are really fun videos to watch. But again, just to summarize, most importantly too, so there is things like this that are captured on, actually let me back up a step. So things that are non-physical, like seeing and hearing, they can't see us physically. People in the spiritual realms or the afterlife, just like our physical eyes and physical ears cannot see anything that is non-physical. We have non-physical senses. That's how we hear and see things with our mind or imagination, but they're 2 totally separate things. So not only can also there's the whole duality of physicality and non-physicality. So everything physical has a non-physical counterpart. That's exactly how they can see things that are physical here. But all forms of communication, on their end, is simply non-physical, because that's what they're made of, and therefore, just like we can't see things non-physically with their physical eyes, vice versa, they can't see anything physical with their non-physical eyes. What they're seeing is an exact representation of what is literally in front of them physically, but that duality of the physical, non-physical counterparts is what allows them to see that. So, and of course, they can see everything much more infinitely. Everything. They can just see everything. So they have such a high level of refined sense, and can see which one of these videos are real or not. So very importantly too, non-physical, like just like I can't move my car, or something like that, just using the power of my mind. My car is physical. I can't use my non-physical, intent to just move my car like that. So spirits aren't going around like shoving babies over. It's so you don't have to worry about that sort of thing. It's just not real. It's very, very highly controlled too. The interactions from the afterlife to physical Earth. This process here of life and everything is deeply respected and maintained, and there are no rogue spirits or demons or anything like that, or dark energy, or people running around trying to shove your kid over in the living room, let alone being able to be captured on physical film or cameras, that sort of thing. So you know beings and everything can't just like find their way here and do whatever they want to. Hauntings, that sort of thing. Again, it's not to take away from people who've had these experiences. I have had them too. But sometimes what is non-physical can seem so real that we attribute it to something physical, or it could be something physical that occurred, and we're just not aware of its origin, that sort of thing. So there's always an explanation for that sort of thing. But visitation, communication, there's just, because if you think about it too, all our loved ones are in the afterlife, that sort of thing. There is, it's just like any place here, like any country that would protect itself and make sure things are in order, that sort of thing. So there's no reckless spiritual activity happening here. It can affect physical matter anyways, and that sort of thing. So that's important to point out. Either way, these videos are really great to watch. And not all of them are fake, of course. So it's just stuff that we may catch on physical camera where we just don't know what we're seeing. In this particular case, there were 2 examples. And the rest were really fun to watch. So hopefully you enjoyed that. And appreciate you watching that again. And happy Halloween. And if you have any questions or comments, thoughts or suggestions or ideas or anything, feel free to let me know. Subscribe if you like it, the channel. If you like the video, definitely feel free to thumbs up. And thanks again. God bless and have a great and safe and enjoyable holiday. Happy Halloween.